Hey everybody, this is the LLiveshow, and I'm Luke Cogliano. This week I saw a couple of movies, and I have to say, they were interesting. So, Battle Los Angeles. I thought this movie used great camera work throughout the entire film. I love when people use this style of kind of in the moment, up close and personal sort of handheld film work. For this kind of film, it was almost needed. It felt really authentic and realistic, and I thought that brought a lot to this story in general. Lots of the sound in this movie is just outstanding, especially in the first scene of contact with these aliens. When that first explosion pings right onto the screen, you feel it. You really feel like you're right there and you're experiencing this whole thing as it's happening. I was blown away by how great all the sound editing was. I also thought that having these handheld camera shots really brought a lot of realism to these actors and all of the situations that were going on throughout this whole movie. I felt like it was a really realistic portrayal of all of the military, and it seemed to be a really accurate representation of just what all of them are what all of them really feel like and what all of them are going through. All of the action scenes in this movie are absolutely epic. They're just so mind-blowing and so creative that it's just something I had never seen before, and it really stood out as just something completely original and something that I absolutely love. Just the special effects for all the aliens and all of their ships really was something so original that it completely stood out. And this almost seemed like some kind of combination between something like Black Hawk Down and District 9, and it really, I love both of those movies, and this I absolutely just enjoyed the entire thing. The story plays out really well in this whole thing. I thought because it's just so simple, such a simple story, it's just one mission, one crew, and it's just following them, not centered around an entire population. It really brought viewers closer to the hearts of these characters, and all of the characters are really, the whole cast is really great. I love that they had tons of new faces and a few that we don't see too much that we should see more, because they're like Aaron Eckhart and Michelle Rodriguez, because they're both really great actors, and whenever they do stuff they always do a great job, and they definitely did well in this. I thought it was just completely stunning. So this is definitely something to see in theaters, because it's just such a spectacle to see on the big screen. Don't wait for this to come out on DVD, because it won't be as much of a thrill ride on your TV and at home. So definitely go see this in theaters and get to it as soon as you can. So I also saw Red Riding Hood this week, and all I can say is, wow. Just wow. It was absolutely terrible. They just flipped this great classic story into some really awful, terrible love triangle story, and it just really didn't fit for this whole thing. They could have done something. They could have done something else and not kept it connected to the old story of Red Riding Hood. It didn't have to be that. It didn't have to be what it was. It was really just a weak attempt at a new interpretation of an old story, and it completely failed. The cast is pretty bad too. I didn't like Gary Oldman in this, and he's pretty much the only one that does a lot in this whole movie. Everybody else is there, but they're basically in the background, and it's just really sad to see that they couldn't have pulled any more good names for this and had it stand out a little bit more. The dialogue in this movie is also just really bad, because it's so weak and so stupid sometimes, and it didn't connect very well with what I was watching, and some of it was pretty choppy, so I just really didn't feel interested in this at all. It didn't really keep my interest, and I was really just kind of distant throughout this whole film. They seem to be rushing this whole movie, like they just keep going and going, and it's everything's happening way too fast. This movie didn't have enough time to develop and create convincing arguments for any of the characters, and it just left me with left me nothing to look forward to and nothing to expect. So I really couldn't say that it was enjoyable. And the outcome of this whole story was really just completely predictable. It was something that you could see coming from the opening credits, and it just wasn't worth watching at all and not worth spending money on. So I would say absolutely avoid this at all costs. Don't go out and see it. Don't wait for it on DVD. It's just not worth spending money on. So that's the end of this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, or leave me a video response. Also, you can give me a thumbs up. That's all for this week. I'll see you guys next Monday, and don't forget to come back and check out those new reviews. Today's question of the day is, who would win in a fight, aliens or robots?
Can I resist?